All right. Hi, everyone, and a very good evening. And we are here. Our house is full with all the esteemed speakers for today's panel of Art and Digital Age. And I welcome all of you to Community Engagement Summit 2020, organized by Empathy for You and You Lead. Community Engagement Summit is a platform where we try to bring artists, social entrepreneurs, activists, and mental health professionals on the same platform on one single floor. And this is specifically for all the young, ambitious people out there who are trying to redefine the meaning of leadership, entrepreneurship, innovation, and purpose. And yeah, I'm Shanti. I'm the founder of Empathy for You and You Lead. So, Empathy for You is an organization that works in spreading awareness about mental health and suicide prevention. And You Lead is an initiative that we have started recently, which is trying to bridge the gap between mentors and wannabe entrepreneurs. And we are into kind of transforming the founders, the dreamers into founders. So this is it. And yeah, we are having our panels on board here. So without further ado, I would just request each one of you to introduce yourselves, starting with Sanjana. Would you go first?
Oh, hi everyone. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you, Shalini, for having me here today. I think it's a great concept and idea, and obviously today's topic is also super interesting because that's all of us living in this super digital world that we live in today. My name is Sanjana Chatlani. I am a calligrapher and a lettering artist and the founder of the Bombay Lettering Company. We're a boutique calligraphy, lettering, and design studio, really trying to, bring words to life in every way possible. We take on commission work for calligraphy and lettering for like corporates, brands, individuals, do a lot of work with weddings and events. I also teach calligraphy across the country, and we have an online store where we're a retailer for calligraphy supplies in India. So really trying to take a tiny art form, very, very niche one, and make it relevant today, show the importance of written word and, you know, the love, the warmth, the empathy with handwritten work and spread that. So that's really what we're doing.
Yes, I mean, that's really great. And we have been seeing all the pretty work that you do on your page. So just kudos for you. Kudos to you for that. And thank you so much for being on this panel. It's our pleasure.
No, thank you.
Natasha, I would request you to go ahead.
Okay, hi everyone. First of all, thank you, Sharmali. This is a really great opportunity, like Sanjana said. I'm actually the founder and artist at Natangle. I'm not actually from an art background. I've done my mass media and I've been working in this industry for almost 10 years. 3 years back is when actually my husband pushed me to, start, focusing on my hobbies. And that's when I got back to drawing, and it's been 3 years now that I've been into it. I've been drawing every day, and that's how Natangle was formed. So basically, I'm a mandalas, entangle, doodle illustrations, and I'm very I can't say recently because this has been 3 years, but since 2 years I've been doing digital art, and I've also been learning digital portrait now. So yes, it's been an amazing journey, and every day there's something new to learn. So yes, it's been great. So that's basically just about me.
Okay, perfect. And again, it's our pleasure to have you on our panel. And we also had you earlier when
Yeah.
we had our online workshops, and that was pretty
Right.
much we had a lot of participants joining in for the mandala workshop.
Right.
Okay, Tuheena, would you like to go ahead?
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Tuhi Maharaj. I am somebody who does two very different things at a day. So I have a day job as the brand manager. I work with this company called Buntokai Coffee Roasters as their brand manager, and I am better known as a poet and writer on social media platforms as Words of Worth. So lovely to meet you all, although it's all digital. So finally, great to see you, Shalmali, and lovely meeting you, Sanjana, Natasha, and Shanti. Look forward to this lovely session.
Yes, thank you so much for the introduction. Again, it's our pleasure to have you on the panel. And earlier we tried to collaborate with you, but that was kind of due to some circumstances we were not able to do that. And yeah, we are so happy to have you with us today.
Same here.
All right, Shanti, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Shanti and I'm the creator behind Peace Creates. For me, this was a very spontaneous journey, not planned at all. I started off as an interior designer, moved on to being a cabin crew with Jet Airways, followed by being an event planner at a startup event come catering company. Moved on to being a workshop instructor with an art studio. Finally, I am freelancing on my own now, so I'm not working anywhere. I'm just conducting workshops and occasional commissions. And yeah, here I am with all of you. I know most of you, and it's a pleasure to be a part of this.
That's really nice. It's our pleasure basically to have you all on this panel. All right, so without further ado, I'll get directly into the questions. So, as the topic of the panel discussion is art in digital age, so I would just ask this question to everyone: how are you adapting yourselves to all the digital things that are coming in? How is your art changing, or how is your art form changing according to what's going on digital media? Natasha, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, so I think every day there are new things coming up, and especially being in the digital world right now, things are, there all the time. Every second there's something new happening, and if we do not adapt to these new trends that are there currently, I think we'll be lagging around somewhere. And being from the digital media background, I have to stay up to date with everything that's happening. So yes, like right now there are so many new things that are there. There's augmented reality, there is a digital prints, and a lot of other things that have launched right now. And I am learning a lot of new things online through courses to get in sync with all of these that are happening and try to put those in my art forms as well. It is slightly difficult, and it does have a toll. Having a lot of digital around you, it really sometimes pulls you down, demotivates at a certain point of time. But then again, I mean, there are so many trends that are there right now at the moment, and catching up with those trends is something which I really like doing. That not only for Natangle but for other brands that I'm managing as well. So adapting for me, I think learning is an everyday process for me, and adapting to it is very important as well.
Yes, yes. I mean, that's something that you said really well, that learning is something that goes on every day. I mean, every day we learn something. Yes, Sanjana, would you love to go ahead?
Yeah, I think exactly what Natasha said as well about learning, right? We're learning every day. And if we're not staying up to date, we're not learning to adapt, we're going to be left behind. So, with the digital world being so fast paced, I feel it's important to kind of stay on top of things. For me, I'm a calligrapher and everything we do is by hand. And a lot of times people look at me and they're like, but with everything digital around us today, don't you feel that the need of a calligrapher is just going to die out? And a lot of times my answer is, those who value it, those who appreciate it, and those who see the effort, the warmth, the love taken with something hand done will always opt for something hand done. We are constantly surrounded by digital. Everything is so standardized today that calligraphy or personalization is like a breath of fresh air. How often is it that you receive a wedding card and you can be like, that's Zapfino, the font, I know it. Because it's become such a common font and everybody's using the same fonts, and here it's like, even if I have to do something in calligraphy and digitize it for print, it is still a hand scripted unit that has not been seen as a font on a computer before, because it's what I've drawn and I've lettered. So I feel today, yes, everything I do is hand done. The core, the soul, the essence is by hand. But I'm not going to shy away from technology. I don't mind using technology to my advantage to further enhance my work. And I think that's what it's really all about, understanding how to make the worlds meet and work better for you, but staying true to whatever it is that you're doing. We're all artists, we all do stuff by hand. So I think it's really understanding technology, using it to your advantage, and enhancing whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah.
Yes, and that's pretty much true. Like we are always surrounded by our gadgets. The moment we wake up, we have something besides us. The time when we are going to sleep, we have our phones beside us. So we are always surrounded by gadgets, and we are specifically the social media. And with this only, my next question is for Shanti. As digital technology is kind of changing the way of how artists are showing their work, do you also feel like it has also kind of helped uh, people or helped artists to discover their art form newly, or kind of has discovered a new audience for their art?
She's mute.
It's muted.
Shanti, I guess you are muted.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question. I got the second half, the first half got cut.
Okay. I'll repeat the question. So I was asking, like, as we are into a digital media thing where, we are trying to connect with each other, everything going through online, do you feel that your artwork has changed somehow? Or do you also feel like digital media has been an important part in discovering an audience for your art?
So to be honest, had it not been for Instagram, I don't know if people would have found me at all. And
Mm-hmm.
coming to the, whether it has changed my perspective about it, I feel that there is an audience for both. There are a few who are completely, in exposed to just manual supplies, while there are some who are completely digital. So there is an audience for each one, and there is an audience for all three of them. So I feel the way I'm creating has resonated with all three categories: the ones who are digital, the ones who are manual, and the ones who are both. So yeah, I feel that. Mostly I feel people are relating to my work because maximum uh, most of the time I'm doing it manually, and they'll be like, have you digitized it? And I'm like, I'm still very illiterate when it comes to digital creations. So I think it's a learning curve for me at the moment to figure out how the audience is going to continue to be attached to the way I work.
Okay. And I want to pass on the same question to Tuheena also, because we have seen your page. I literally have a lot of screenshots of your writing that I keep every day. So I just really want to know, like, how has digital media helped you in discovering your art of writing, or has it also helped you to discover a lot of audience out there?
So I think something very similar to what Shanti said, which is that I mean, whatever reach that I've had today, whoever knows me now is because of digital media, is because of my Instagram or social media platforms. Um, that said, I've started to sort of push poetry and art to the fore in the sense that I can do that. But that said, I am also very wary of picking everything available on a digital platform to use it for my art. So I don't want to reduce poetry to a 15-second reel video because I feel that doesn't do justice to the form. I do. I'm constantly selectively picking out things I want to associate my art with. So one thing that starts to happen when you become a digital creator and you start putting out art out there is the constant feedback that you're getting on these platforms starts to alter the art that you're trying to put out. So you try to create something which is, say, which you imagine to be more popular, or which will do better, or which will get more engagement, so to say, in these sort of terms. And that sort of starts dictating the art you create if you start getting deeper into the digital jungle. So
Mm-hmm.
I have, in the many years that I've been doing this, learned to disassociate with the feedback mechanism and not use every technical opportunity available or every digital new feature or layout available to adapt my art to it.
Okay. Okay, yeah, and that's really nice because sometimes it's also very important to, kind of keep in touch with what you had it naturally, and then also kind of it's also very important on digital media to put out your artworks and make it, visible to your audience. So yeah, that's pretty much true. Well, this, as you talked about technology, using technology, this takes me to the next question. Like when we talk about art and when we talk about digital medium, there's something which is technology that comes in between. And for example, there are a lot of apps and softwares out there available where we have paint brushes, where we have, kind of the calligrapher paints or something like that to draw that. Do you also feel like, this softwares or this apps are taking away the natural artistic ability of the artists? What do you think, Sanjana?
Well, as a calligrapher, a lot of us use tablets. A lot of lettering artists mainly
Mm-hmm.
use tablets to draw. And the most popular one now that I've been seeing is the Apple iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil. And we use an app called Procreate. Um, so there are lettering artists who do work completely and entirely on that. And there are a lot
Okay.
of us who will use it at times to help. It's efficient. That's what I can say. Right. But having said that, it most definitely fixes the little imperfections that you would see with a calligraphy pen on paper. So um, it has what it does is, so the Apple Pencil is pressure sensitive and you can create your thin and thick strokes with the pressure, but it streamlines them for you, so it looks super perfect and super pretty, when if you try doing that by hand on paper, it may not necessarily be the same way. I think you have to be mindful about what it is you want to do. If you call yourself a professional calligrapher, you need to be able to write with the nib ink paper and get that out beautifully. If you're a lettering artist and you're dabbling and you're talking about using different surfaces and different technology and gadgets, and it's up to you. I feel like I reached a point where it's very like, you do you. Just be honest about it to yourself and to the world. No one's here to judge. You want to use the iPad, do it. But then be aware of it, be mindful of it, and don't be delusional of the fact that you're creating something amazing on a digital screen, which you may not be able to do by hand. So I'm not sure if I answered your question very well, but um, what I feel is that you'll see two kinds of artists: one who completely work and draw digitally, and I think one who three actually, one who only work by hand and can't stand these digital tablets, and then there are some who kind of, again, take the best of both worlds and try and work with them together. And I feel like I'm lying somewhere in between, because when I know I need to digitize my work, if I need to laser cut or print my calligraphy, yes, I may eventually take my hand drawn sketches onto the iPad to fine tune it and vectorize it to go into a print process. um, so I think it boils down to kind of like a personal preference and what your final output really is and what you want to do with it.
Yeah. Okay. The same question is for Natasha because, as you said, we have seen you working on the digital platform also, and there's also where it comes to mandala to Zentangle patterns. So, how do you feel like, does it actually technology is taking away your natural artistic ability of drawing actually with your hands?
I don't think so actually, because what it is that, okay, so when I started off with drawing on paper. So I did a lot of mandalas and centangles and a lot of illustrations and doodles only on paper. I had no clue how to go digital and figure that out. But when I started making a lot of these artworks, a lot of people told me that we would like to see these on merchandises and a lot of other products, and you need to make them digital and get this printed. Now to do that, you really need a a resolution image and get it printed. So for that, I had to then eventually get into the whole digital part. When I got into digital, I started creating a lot of digital artworks, and that itself helped me enhance the whole way of how I should draw on paper. And like Sanjana actually categorized three people, I'm from the third one, where I take from done on paper as well as digital, and then I create something in a way. So I feel that a lot of people, yes, they do traditional artworks, but they are also using these digital platforms to be out there and show to people, like on Instagram and other. There are people who still currently work on paper, but they need digital to, showcase their artworks. At the same time, they are also interested in how to, when they see like what you can do with a mandala or a Zentangle by drawing on digital, they are more keen to, explore these platforms. So I think it's a mix of both. It's sometimes it's required, even if you don't want to do it, it is needed. And I feel like, since 2 years I've been doing digital, I sometimes miss drawing on paper. That's when I take a break from digital and go back to paper and I start doing again. And then when I'm like, okay, I'm done with paper and I'm going to go back to digital. So it's like a wave, I have to figure it out when, what, and that's how it goes. So I don't think that it's actually overpowering. The digital is not really overpowering because a lot of people still love drawing on paper, and I still love drawing on paper. So yes, and on just to give one, I'll end with one point here. Just
Mhm.
recently, like I've been putting a lot of digital artworks on Instagram, and a few of my followers have actually asked me, when are you going to see art on paper? We really love that. So I'm like, okay, I'll get back to it soon. So that's how it's been. So I feel it's like a balance.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, so as we're talking about, the the digital media, and if you see, there are a lot of things which come into picture about maybe plagiarism or using your artworks and putting out there, saying that okay, this is what I've done, and we pretty much see that this is on everyone's at least bio or in description that no, you shouldn't copy your artworks and everything. So obviously, my question is for Shanti. What do you like, how do you manage that of people using your artworks and putting them out on digital media, saying that that is theirs?
Makes me cry. It is so it is like put so much effort in it, and people just, I mean, they don't have a conscience. That's what I think. I'm like, I would never do that. Why would they do it? Why are they doing it? And it hurts. It hurts a lot. And then you get the lawyers involved, you get a notice involved, you complicate the whole process, which in the first place was supposed to make you happy and not stress you out. It's supposed to keep you relaxed, and now you have to keep a check of who is copying. And most of the time, the people who keep up with us end up DMing us, oh, this person has used your thing for their workshop, or they are doing it. So you get to know from the people who know you, because I guess now they can identify an artist's work by just looking at it. Oh, I know who's done this. So it's very stressful, but I think it's a part of the thing, and I feel copycats don't last. So eventually they will give up, because for us as artists, we keep going. We don't need to be told what to do. It's a default setting. Okay, today I'm creating and I create. For them, they have to see what we have created to create. So, end of the day, they will lose out, but it hurts, and especially if they are earning out of it, if they're selling our work to gain money or something, that's so unfair. But I think it's a part of this world. The least you can do is report them, sue them, but end of the day, even Gucci, Prada have copycats now. So you can just keep suing them, and yeah, that's what we can, from my perspective, I can only tell them don't copy, and they'll be like, okay, I won't copy, but they will copy. Even you know that for a fact. Telling is not going to achieve anything. You sue them, you get your money, it's not going to achieve. They'll still keep going, because that's how they're made. So I think we have to just remember to, be strong about it, because it's not going to end. No matter who we are, how big or small, there are going to be some people who will not give up copying. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And same question goes to Tuheena, because your artworks, oh my God, they're brilliant, and there's always a fear of, someone might copy that and post it and take the credit when it's yours totally. So how do you manage that? And do you also feel that this is one of the biggest drawbacks when it comes to social media?
Definitely do, and I agree with Shanti on what she said, which is that it's heartbreaking every time you see it, and I see it almost on an everyday basis. Someone of my somebody who reads my work would forward it to me and say, this page has used your work. I have literally seen my quotes and writing being printed on merchandise in the US and being sold on Amazon. I have tried to reach out to them to take a legal recourse, but nothing of that sort has also worked out. It is heartbreaking, and it's one of the biggest drawbacks of putting your work out there, because when with the the loud uproar of love that you get, there is also you're also attracting these people who might not have the most conscious approach to art, or who might not have, that sort of a high regard to taking things ethically. However, what I have continued doing is that I, publicly tell people that this is wrong. I write about it. I share it on my stories. I let people say that please go and report this account. I know it looks like a small, silly thing to do, but trust me, it has a huge impact. So the next time someone thinks of plagiarizing or stealing your work, they would sort of think twice. You cannot control this entire system once you're putting anything out to the digital space. I was actually once surprised because I googled my works, and I actually saw some of my oldest stories and things like that available on Google, which have no other sort of digital backing other than my Instagram account's archives. There is nothing that's ever going out of memory. The best thing you can do is sort of create these safeguards where you're telling people that it's not acceptable to plagiarize my work, and also sort of call out these people. However silly that may sound, it's not wrong to protect your work and safeguard your work.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And as we are talking about digital media, my next question is goes to you, Sanjana. Like, how do you think, like, what is the importance of museums? Like, how many people are actually out there who go to museums and see the artworks? And do you also feel like museums hold an equal importance that they were holding earlier, specifically in this digital age?
It's really sad, but half the people I know in Bombay who live in Bombay have never been to the Prince of Wales Museum. And it's one of the most beautiful and stunning
Yeah.
places. And it's so sad, but our generation today is able to consume so much online that the flip side is that a lot of times you don't end up going to these actual physical places. And I know a lot of artists, and including, like my teacher from Italy, when she actually came to Bombay and when she was in India, we were taking inspiration from different parts of different museums to see how we could incorporate those as flourishes of our calligraphy, whether it was different, like monumental stuff or carvings or engravings, and to understand how we could use that in words. And it's just how you want to adapt it into your field of work. And I feel like physically going to places is, and that's the same with travel, right? It just feeds your soul. And I think that's really what it's all about. I'm not taking some massive credit here because I do not go to museums all that often. But of course, when I'm traveling, I make sure I go to the most popular ones, or the most famous ones, or the most renowned ones, because I feel it's definitely a really big form of inspiration. But then again, I feel like in today's world, I don't know how the youth really feel about it. And I feel like, you know, everyone has their own way of getting inspired, and everyone has different things that work for them. Like some people I know will make it a point to go to every museum in a city when they're traveling. And some people are just like, I can see this on the internet, I'm okay. So I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't know what the others think about this, but I feel, it's more about finding your form of inspiration and then kind of going towards that.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah. So I'm going to pass on the same question to Natasha. But before that, I guess there are just few minutes left. I'll end the meeting and we'll join in again with the same link. All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.